Hello, welcome to 9.3, actually it's 9. It's limit comparison test. So I actually love this test. I don't know why, I think it's fun. But anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to compare it to another function. And really, once you start to see these, it'll make a lot more sense. You're going to compare it to that function. You're going to divide the two. What we want to look at is that piece that we're comparing it to. We want to see if it diverges or converges. And then once we divide, if that answer, that limit, actually approaches a number, then that's going to confirm my initial suspicion. So it's not going to tell you what it diverges or converges to, much like a lot of the other tests that we have, like the interval test. It just tells you whether it does or does not converge. It doesn't say what it converges to. So let me just go ahead and just start showing you some of these, because it is super easy once you get the hang of it. What you want to do is you want to figure out what to compare it to. So if I'm looking at number 1, I've got 1 over 2n plus 3. I want to look at kind of like the most basic part of that function, what's really happening. And what you're going to notice is that you have 1 over n. So that's what we want to compare it to. Let me go ahead and just show you a couple examples of what I want to compare it to, just so you really kind of understand what's happening there. In the second one, the best thing to compare it to would be 1 over n squared. If I look at number 3, I'm still going to compare it to 1 over n, because that's like the biggest gap in the power. So the gap in the power here is, there's no n, there's an n here, no n, there's 2 n's, there's 1, and there's 2. So I'm looking at the gap. And so if I look at one more, if I've got a 4 and a 5, I'm going to compare it to 1 over n. So really not sure the best way to explain that, but you kind of just get a feel for it. What you want to do is you want to see if this piece converges or diverges. A lot of these will be easy p-series ones. So we're looking at the fact that n is 1. If you think about the p-series, it needs to be greater than 1 for it to converge. So this would actually diverge. Now that's not the answer to the whole series. What I need to do is I need to take my original series. I need to divide it by 1 over n. Well, when you divide, you're going to flip and multiply. So what I'm actually looking at is the limit as n approaching infinity for this function, n over 2n plus 3. So if you look at that, you can just plug in your infinity. You're going to get infinity over infinity, so that doesn't work. Once you do L'Hopital's, you get 1/2. So that limit is approaching a number. That doesn't mean that this converges. It doesn't mean that it approaches 1/2. Because this is something that's a number, all it does is confirm my initial thought. Okay? So the answer to this one is that it diverges. So this is very different than a lot of the other tests that we've done so far. All right, let's look at another one. So I'm going to take, I already have what this is going to compare to, 1 over n squared. This one will converge by p-series because 2 is greater than 1. I'm going to take my original function, and I'm going to divide by 1 over n squared, which is going to flip and multiply. So I'm looking at the limit as n goes to infinity for n squared over 3n squared is 4n plus 5. Okay. Really, honestly, we don't care about a lot of this other stuff. We're looking at comparing the highest powers, and you probably have been getting a feel for that with a lot of the stuff that we've been doing already. So if you actually, if you just focus on that highest power and you focus on the leading coefficient, that's really going to give you your answer. So that's kind of looking at another shortcut here. So that's going to be 1/3. 1/3 is an actual number, so that confirms that it actually does converge. If your limit, you have the suspicion that it converges or diverges, and you work it out and you get infinity or 0, okay, those don't help us. We need it to actually approach a number. It's not 0. Okay. All right, so let's look at number 3. I already have what I'm comparing it to. I already know that this diverges. We talked about that before with p-series. I'm going to take this function and divide it by 1 over n, which means I flip and multiply it. This is nice because it gives me n squared over all of this. Again, like you could probably start to, it's kind of sloppy math, but you can really start to kind of like ignore this. All we really care about is this right here. That's going to let us know what it approaches. And not what it approaches, but just the fact that this is a non-zero number, that's going to let me know that this is actually what's going to happen with that piece. And as always, you can, you have all these tools at this point in time, all these different tests. You can just start plugging in numbers and just see what happens if you're curious, or if you you feel like the math that you're doing doesn't really, it feels like voodoo. You just start plugging in numbers. And a lot of these you can try to use another test to back up your results, like integral tests. Like a lot of these would be, like number 5 would be really easy to do for you. Okay, so number 4, I already have what I'm comparing it to, which is 1 over n. I already know that diverges. Once again, I talked about p-series. So take this function, the series, and I'm going to divide by 1 over n, so flip and multiply. That's going to give me n to the 5th, so as n goes to infinity, n to the 5th over 4n to the 5th, and like, I really don't care about any of that other stuff is. All I care about is the highest power. So that's going to give me 1/4. That's an actual non-zero number, so it's going to diverge. Okay? I'm kind of doing some sloppy math here. And I think that's okay for practice, but I do want to mention that, if you're doing this stuff on an AP test, if we're going from a series to a limit, you need to make sure that you're writing limit. Like, I should be writing limit in front of all of this stuff. But again, I'm just being lazy, and I don't have much room, so I'm just not writing it. But know that on the AP test, you need to write that kind of stuff over and over again, as monotonous as it seems. Okay, so these next ones are going to be a little bit more interesting. This time I'm going to compare to 1 over the square root of n. Okay, because that's really like the function that's happening here, is the square root function. And now my p would be 1/2, and 1/2 is less than 0, or less than 1, so it's going to diverge. Okay, so I'm going to take this function and divide it by this function, so flip and multiply. We're going to the square root of n over the square root of 4n minus 2. So once again, I want to look at the number that's in front of its coefficients. These are both to the same power. This is, square root of 4n, square root of n. They're the same kind of power. I want to look at the number that's actually in front of there. Okay, so the number that's in front of this is a 1. Think about this for a second. What do you think that would be? Hopefully you're thinking 2, because the square root of 4 is 2, so this is approaching 1/2, which means it diverges, because that was my initial thought about this problem. Alright, so at this point, if you want to try to pause the video and try this one on your own, I think that would be great, but if you still want to just watch and get the hang of it, that's fine. So this one I'm going to compare to 1 over n squared. You can see that that's kind of the gap in the powers, and that would converge. So take your powers over limit as n goes to infinity. And so this is really nice because it ends up giving me like powers. I'm going to have n to the 4th over 3n to the 4th. I really don't care what the rest of it is. All I want to do is compare this. That would be 1/3, which is an actual non-zero number. So, yay, it converges. We don't know to what, though. All right, these next couple ones are a little bit trickier. They're going to make you think a little bit more. And I want to point out that it doesn't always have to be for the limit comparison test. This doesn't always have to be a P-series problem, okay? But that certainly is like the easiest one to do. And these next two will be examples of when you don't have to use P-series. So you can tell by looking at this, it's kind of gross. And really the function that we're looking at, the highest power on top is 2 to the n, and then we've got 4 over n cubed. But I already have an n on top, so I don't need to erase this. So if I'm looking at 2 to the n, that's kind of the thing that's happening up top, the function. And then on the bottom I've got this n cubed. Well, if I have an n up top, I only have to think about dividing by n squared, because that's the gap in the power. So this is obviously not a P-series problem, because I have too much going on up here. And really, what this looks like to me is that first step that we did with that nth term test, okay? And with your nth term test, basically all you're going to do is look at taking the limit. So if I plug in infinity, I'm going to get infinity over infinity. So I can just keep doing L'Hopital's. You really don't need to do this. At this point, you probably can start thinking about this stuff in your head, just kind of like the logic behind it, and just kind of theoretically what should happen. So if I were to take the derivative, this eventually would zero out, or I would at least get like something smaller. But this is not. It's going to stay the same. So this is going to diverge by that nth term test, and that was the first test that we had talked about. So same thing. I'm going to take n, I'm going to take my original function, and I'm going to divide by this, which is multiplied by the reciprocal. You're going to see some things cancel. And then, once again, I'm going to get something really nice to work out. I'm going to get n cubed up top, 4n cubed plus 3 on the bottom. All I care about are those matching, those leading coefficients, the number that's in front, which is 1/4. That's an actual number. So it diverges. All right, one last one. This, you may notice that it's got to the nth power on top and bottom. So what that makes me think of is a geometric series problem. So 2 over 4 to the nth, which is the same as 1/2 to the nth. Using your geometric series test, this would converge, okay? And I don't really care what it converges to, because all I'm trying to do is figure out, does it converge or not converge? So as long as you know that r, the absolute value of r is less than 1 converges, that's all you need to know for this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our original one, just like we have been, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of this. I'm going to use the original one just because I can see what's going to happen. It's going to make that cancel out. And really, honestly, you don't even have to do this simplifying part. You can, that 2/4 is less than 1. So I'm going to go back to the 4 nths over 2 nths. Okay, because if I have 2 4s to the nth, that's the same as 2 over n, 4 over n. These will cancel. We're going to have 4 to the n over 4n plus 1. These match. They're exactly the same. So we're looking at that approaching 1. It's a non-zero number. So yes, it converges. Okay? All right, so that's pretty quick. You may need to go back and rewatch some things. You may need to look up some extra videos at YouTube or on Khan, or find some extra practice there. These are suggested homework problems. I would pick at a minimum 10. So if you do 10, you feel like, oh, I got this. This is easy. Good. If you don't feel good after 10, then maybe do some more. Okay? And let me know if you need help.